Hi, my name is Steve. This is Live and Learn Health, and I am back with another video. I know it's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to get a video out, just talk about a couple things. So, with everything going on, current state of affairs with the election, one of the things I wanted to talk about was RFK getting a role in with Trump and his team as far as becoming an advocate of health, and some of the things that I've read and heard that he wants to accomplish. And I've shared some things as far as like how I feel about it in social media, and some people have an opinion about it either way, and that's fine. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody should have an opinion, and just don't ever blindly accept everything. You know, what you read, what you see. You should always read counter arguments to the things you believe in. I'm a firm believer in that. But one of the things I do want to talk about is some of the stuff that I've read that RFK wants to, and by RFK I mean obviously Robert F. Kennedy Jr. What he wants to do as far as fixing the things we have going on with health and food and things that are happening in this country. Because the way I see it, there needs to be change, and if we don't have change soon, the ones that are going to suffer the most are the kids, because they're the ones that are mostly eating all this ultra processed garbage. And if they don't clean up the food, it's just going to make a bad situation worse. So I agree with the fact that he wants to, you know, one of the things he talked about was no advertising for big pharma and getting rid of the ability for them to get that money, because some of the medications that big pharma puts out are medications that do more harm than good. And to be honest, I'm all for it. I think people need to do some serious research when they're going to start medications, because it just seems like most medications do more harm than good, you know. So I think the big pharma thing is a good thing. I think they need to be checked, they need to be regulated, and there needs to be accountability held. One of the other things that RFK talked about was vaccines, and how he thinks, you know, some vaccines can cause long-term problems, and I'm also for that. I think, I'm not sitting here saying you should never take any vaccines. That's not what I'm saying. I think people need to be cautious with vaccines. You know, there are certain things in vaccines where a person can have a reaction to something in the vaccine. That's very plausible. It can happen. And people need to do their own research and figure things out, because if you're putting that vaccine inside of you and there's something in there that can cause a reaction and it can cause problems for that person, then I think there needs to be some sort of accountability piece for that. I think that's really, really important. You know, people still need to go to the doctor. They need to get blood tested. They need to get checked. All of those things are extremely important. You know, I know some people say, there's people who are radical on both sides saying, oh, you should go to the doctor for everything. There's people who say you should go to the doctor for nothing. I'm somewhere in the middle of that. I think doctors are extremely important, but I think the problem with doctors is that people give them too much authority. You know, when something happens to someone, they go to the doctor thinking the doctor's going to fix all their problems. And that's not fair to the doctor. It's not. What should happen is the person should do the best that they can to take care of themselves. The doctor should be there as like a safety net. But the doctor should not be the one that's going to fix everything, because that's not realistic. Doctors can't always fix, not that they can't, but they don't always have the capability to fix everybody's problems. And then when a person's problem isn't fixed, they want to sit there and blame the doctor. They want to blame the medical people, and that's not fair. It's not. You know, I think the biggest thing is people need to take accountability and responsibility for their health. You know, you're putting things in your body, the food you eat, the liquids you drink. You're choosing to exercise or not. You're choosing to go to sleep at a good hour or not. You're choosing to do all of those things. Stress management. How are you dealing with stress? You know, do you have the ability to go somewhere and have a quiet space? Do you have the ability to go outside and walk? You know, we have all of this research that shows us that there's so many things we can do to have better health for ourselves. We can do things ourselves. We don't have to wait on somebody, a doctor. We don't have to wait on a medication. We can go out and do things right now. And I don't think, you know, for whatever reason, people have their reasons. You know, they don't want to do it because they're lazy. You know, they're unmotivated. Oh, I have this problem. I don't think I can do anything about it. But if you have that negative mindset, you know, okay, it's going to sound like hokey pokey nonsense, but a negative mindset does matter. If you have a negative mindset and you have all of this negativity flowing around in your head and you're saying, oh, I can't do it, then you can't do it. You're telling yourself you can't do it, then that means you can't do it. You know, myself, I deal with this stuff all the time. You know, I have problems with my eyes, and sometimes I get in my own head and I'm like, oh, I'm doing all this stuff and nothing's happening and my eyes are, you know, they're not better. But I also have to understand there's a long game to this. Like, you know, it may not necessarily be that, you know, my eye is gonna be able to get better, but I also have to understand that I have to do things in my life. Hopefully the things that I'm doing will allow it to not get worse. So you have to play both sides of that. And, you know, I think all of this stuff that RFK wants to introduce this directly affects every single person and their health. It directly affects the thing with the big pharma and taking, you know, the advertisements away from them, not being able to do commercials. I think taking certain chemicals out of food. They want to take out the, you know, all the different dyes and the chemicals that are causing all the problems for people, because they're, you know, I don't think there's hard evidence, but most people are looking at the research and they're saying that there's a possibility that some of the ingredients that are in ultra processed foods are making people sick. You know, my whole stance on this is, if there's a possibility it can make you sick, then stay away from it. Like, why even take the chance? You know, why even take the chance? Oh, but it's food that I want to eat. You know, it tastes good. Okay, well, at that point, you have to make a choice. Are you going to eat the food you want to eat because they taste good? Or are you going to make a sacrifice knowing that there's potentially something in that food that can cause problems? And if you eliminate it, you may be eliminating those problems. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to do either way. That's your choice. You know, you choose what you want to choose. The vaccine stuff that he talked about, I think, you know, again, you're walking on, you know, thin ice with a lot of that stuff. You just be careful. Go to the doctor. Make sure you get tested. You know, if you have allergic reactions to things, we need to seriously, you know, think about that. There's other stuff that he wants to do too. I'm not going to talk about it here because I don't think it's necessarily appropriate for the channel. But there are some really interesting things that they wanna introduce and talk about. And I think whatever they decide to do, the one thing I hope is that they at least start researching and testing and really looking hard at the evidence, because medication is not a one-size-fits-all approach. The thing that really bothered me about the COVID vaccine was that we just said that this vaccine is supposed to fix everything. Everybody's supposed to get it. It's supposed to, help you deal with it or not get it or whatever it was supposed to do, right? And how can we treat humans as a one-size-fits-all approach when we are all so different? Some people do need that vaccine, and it's important that they get it. Other people, I don't think necessarily need the vaccine, right? Because, when we're looking at the gamut of everybody's metabolic health, I really believe that there are some people who are metabolically healthy who, if they did get COVID, would be able to handle it. I'm not saying everybody, okay? There's some people who are metabolically damaged and they really do need medication and they need help. They need help fighting these different, sicknesses that they're getting. I understand that. There's two sides to this. I just really wish people would take their own health into their own hands, because that is what's going to solve so many problems. It's not the one size fits. It's not going to fix everything. It's not the one size fits all approach. It's not going to fix everything, but man, would it really go a long way with helping with people and really, figuring things out. I really believe that. I really think it would help a lot of people. So I want to try and keep posting more videos. I haven't been really good about it. It's something I need to get back into. Again, I have a lot of videos on my channel that talk about different aspects of health. If there's anything that I have posted in the past that you think will help somebody, please share it with them. I'm not on this channel trying to tell everybody that I know everything, because that is far from the truth. I'm 42 years old and I'm learning like everybody else. I learn every day. I try new things. I'm not going to stand here and say everything that I've ever said is the best advice of all time. And research comes out all the time and things get debunked and things change. I used to be a hard advocate of fasting. And I still do think for people who are morbidly obese, I do think that fasting, it plays a role. It can play a role. I think it's a tool in the tool belt that people should utilize. Is it something that everybody needs? No, it's not. Different people need different things, and everybody has to kind of, they have to walk their different area and figure things out for themselves. I just give little tidbits here and there about different things. If there's anything you want me to talk about, or if there's something like a topic, drop it in the comments. Those of you who know me, who see me in person, because there are people on my channel who are subscribed to me that know me in person. If there's something that you want me to talk about, let me know, and I'll, either I've done the research or I'll do the research and I'll figure it out and I'll share it with you guys and we can discuss it. So again, please subscribe, please share. If you like the video, please thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.